Today's guest is Pierre Gavarry, a photographer from the south of France whose work explores the emotional side of wildlife photography, using atmosphere and editing to transform images into deeply expressive visual stories.
Pierre, welcome to the Artist Conversation.
Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you and talk to you. And we've seen your work, and there's so much to talk about over there. So, jumping right in, Pierre, talking about the origin and discovering photography. So, you mentioned that growing up, you were surrounded by different forms of art, music, drawing, and graphic design. So, what was it about photography that eventually became the medium that felt most like your voice?
That was a really fun way to go into photography because I first started to edit photo before taking photos. Because maybe I just saw some guys on YouTube and internet just doing this, and I was like, okay, that's amazing how you can transform an image by editing. So I try this. I go through a few way of editing, like too much, not enough, and everything you have to. And then I started to take photo with an old phone, and I find this really cool to do. So I invest some money and I discover photography, and I put everything in me in photography for 2 years, and here I am.
That is pretty cool. And when did this journey start exactly?
2 years ago.
Oh wow, yeah, you just mentioned 2 years ago. Well, and you got so much work already.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, and you've traveled too, right?
No.
No, you
No, I
haven't.
didn't. No, I haven't traveled since I do photography. So I
Wow.
do everything around where I live, and I'm lucky I have some beautiful birds to show. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you're lucky that there's a lot of course, France is beautiful, and you're lucky that there. So are a lot of, because I was looking at a lot of your pictures and everything. Are there a lot of things from the Alps and some other places, surrounding places, or just
yeah, I went, sorry, one time in Alps.
okay?
So, but most
Wow.
of the thing you can see is from the place I grew up. It's called Lozère. It's a cold mountain place in the center, just a bit north from where I am actually.
And how do you spell it?
Lozère, Lozere, or E. Yeah.
And
Okay.
you pronounce it Lozé.
Lozère.
Lozé. Oh, that.
It's it's the place in France where you can see less people living.
So it's a
Okay.
quiet and nice place, huh?
Yeah. That's a really beautiful
That's
place.
very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
That's super. And like when I first saw your work on Instagram, I was like mesmerized your editing skills with the masking and all this thing, because I came myself from a photography background, but just my music kind of overwhelms me, so I had to choose individual music. But Pia, your work often I felt like it felt like more of a very emotional and atmospheric. So when did you first realize that photography could communicate feelings, not just document reality?
Honestly, I didn't do that on purpose.
Okay.
So I think it's like everyone, when you are an artist, you do it when you are on the good place, on the right place of doing what you want to do. You just do it naturally, I think. But yeah, then I realized that because of the people that following me, because of the comments. And when you realize that, you can put even more in it, I think.
Oh, okay. That's nice. And for our listeners and the viewers who are listening to us today, I want to share Pierre's some of work on his Instagram. So I'm just sharing the screen over here. So here is one of Pierre's beautiful work. These pictures from his Instagram wall. Really, yeah, really. Wow. See the whole video. Wow,
There's
so deep.
a lot of emotion. Look at that. Look at that lens.
Yeah, it's it's like a torpedo. Like, uh, I remember during my photography days, in photographers, it they used to call it a holy trinity lens, the three
Yeah,
lenses. So this Canon was the toppest one from all of that.
yeah, you
So
need those big one.
yeah, but no, it's really beautiful. Like your work is really mesmerizing.
Thank you so
So
much.
yeah, welcome. So how this special technique you always, I saw your educational videos also where you talk about this masking and like how it all came up, like where you develop this style of your own.
Um, I think it's all about watching other people doing it, then try
Mm-hmm.
to reproduce the same, and finally, when you understand what you are doing, like why this slider is doing this, then you can put your touch in it. So it takes times to try things, to understand things. It's not all about theory. I think it's really about practice a lot, a lot. Then you discover all the way to do the same thing, and you find your proper way to do it, and then you can put your style in it.
Understood.
Right,
That's
right.
really
I
well
also
said.
saw like on your website you had your prints and you had your Lightroom presets and some of the stuff. Yeah, and I work for actually I work for Adobe. So yeah. So I've worked a little close with that team too. So it was really good stuff what you had on there,
Yeah, I
and
think.
informational, educational. But that's yeah. I mean it's. I mean what you just said. I mean, it's nice, right? It's nice to be in the situation you're like kind of learning, you're kind of producing work, but then you're also kind of putting that into action to pass the knowledge on to others, right? Like, hey, this is how I did these presets, and this is how this works, and take a look. So that's really a good thing, I would say, you're doing, because a lot of people would just be so engrossed, and which is nothing wrong in that. A lot of people would just be here's my work, but they'll never have that thing of sharing it with others, right? Like, hey, here's how I did it, here's how I achieved it. Because I'm sure that a lot of young photographers, or maybe in your fan base on your Instagram, they're wondering, like, wow, look at that click. That is such a beautiful picture. I'm wondering how he got this, the lighting over there, how he got captured the image and the mood, and how the color and everything, right? So it's great you're doing that, you're passing it on in a way.
Yeah,
Maybe you didn't think about it that way, but I feel it's unknowingly you kind of passing it on, right?
yeah, because I think something really important. Knowledge is the only thing that multiply when you share it. Like it's not like money. If you give money, you have less money. But if you give knowledge, you keep your knowledge, and someone else have the knowledge and can spread it to other people. So yeah,
100%. I used to teach a long time ago, and I've taught for a very long time. I used to teach in this media industry as well. I used to teach animation, visual effects, and
nice.
motion graphics and all that. Yeah. So I've taught for a very long time, and I used to say that exact same thing what you just said. When you share your knowledge, you're not losing it. Your knowledge
Yeah,
is going to grow, and you get to learn
yeah,
so much from other people too. So absolutely 100%. It just reminded me of I used to actually say that to my students.
yeah.
So
That's
that's
because it's a fact.
it is a fact, 100%. Talking about, I was really um, looking at all your work, and it was just amazing to look at all the work and the emotional side of the images, right? So you've mentioned that for you, like an image is just not visual; it's emotional. That's what you've said. And when you're taking a photograph, are you thinking about the feeling you want the final image to evoke, or what's your kind of process, your thought
Yeah.
process?
No, I never think about this when I'm shooting, and that's the part I love the most with shooting birds, because you can't control the bird, you can control the lights. In fact, you can control really almost nothing. So you just take the photo, you hope for a good focus in your photo, and then I think I do everything in post-production with editing, but I think all the emotion is when you click. But I don't control it. It's like living a moment, feeling something, and just sometimes you just don't take the picture. You just live the moment. And when you take the photo, you most of the time you have the feeling that you feel in the moment.
Nice, nice. And
Understood.
it's a lot of sorry, Suraj, if I may. It's a lot of
No.
patience. It's a lot of
Yeah.
patience with this, right?
Yeah. Especially with the kingfisher, that is my favorite bird. You have to. Sometimes I spend hour and hour for weeks without even seeing it, and you have to continue to keep going. But that's where the feelings is important, because if you can't go to a place and accept that you won't have any photos, you just don't do it, because it will be a bad moment for you. But just being
Yeah.
in the place and feeling something, being in peace with the nature, with the calm, it's the best thing, I think. And then you have the photo who comes after this.
Understood. One thing I was curious to ask you about, like, as when I started my photography, the one thing which I felt closer to my liking or the genre was the events and the more of a landscape things. So while I was seeing all your work, is there any special reason like you always got into birds? Like I found the birds are the most favorite topic of yours.
Yeah, there is a reason, and it's pretty fun. Is because I really love landscape photography, but uh, when you take the photo of a place, you can't take 1,000 photos of the same place. But with birds, you can go again and again in the same place and watch some new photos. So that's the only thing that make me goes into birds.
Okay. But again, if I can ask if you why only birds? Like in the wildlife, there are animals also, like some critters also. Like what is the thing which feels you closer to birds,
Yeah,
especially?
I think where I live, we don't have that much wild animals. I have a
Okay.
zoo, then where I can go, but it's not the same. The animals are not free and everything.
Of course.
But
Okay.
the birds have something really special. It's I don't know how I can say. They can fly away on 1 second. You can not see them. You can see them. You hear them. It's an all-in-one thing that is making feeling good when I'm outside.
Understood. Oh. See, I remember going into one place with my camera in our India. There is a place called Bharatpur. It's a bird sanctuary, protected by the Indian government. So I was learning from one of a bird photographer there. So he was talking me about like for a bird photography, you have to be a great bird watcher first, like
Yeah,
how
that's right.
they fly, then where on which areas of the day they migrate from here and there. So talking about that part, like your photography, I found like often in this wildlife photography part is often involves a patience and long quiet moments in a nature. Like you don't know when that bird is going to sit there or will he even come there so I can click a picture. So my question is, how do those experiences influence the emotional tone of your images?
Um, that's hard to say. I think it's a mix, because I love to think that the most time you spend having nothing, the most good, the best, yeah, the photo will be right after,
Okay.
because you accept that you have nothing, you keep going, you the passions, everything, and then you have, and it's so grateful to have something. So that so you're so happy, so your photo is good, I think,
Hmm.
because you're happy, you put something good in your photo.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. So nice.
And it's such a I think when I think about wildlife photography in general, and especially bird photography, it I think immediately for me, for some reason, it puts a calm in my soul or something. It's like such a calm thing to do. I feel you're like going by yourself. I have a friend who does that too. He does a lot of wildlife photography here in the US. And it's in fact, funnily enough, like Suraj said, Suraj used to do this for a long time. And even
Yeah.
I, almost 20 years ago, there was a time when this friend of mine, he came to visit me, and he had a very new Nikon camera or something. Even I got a Nikon, and I was trying to get into photography at the time. And then it came to a point, what Suraj was saying earlier too, like I could only do one thing, right? I mean, music or photography. So I had to choose, and I've been doing music all my life. So I was like, you know what, let's go that way. But then that said, I've been doing a lot of video editing and this and that, so I'm still close to the camera, but in a different way.
Yeah, I think that's because we can't do something if we're not 100% in it. And I used to do a lot of music. I play guitar since I'm 6 years old, but
Wow.
because of the photography, I don't play guitar anymore. Because
See, now it's opposite. It's opposite
yeah.
for us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because we put everything we got in it, I think. So that's
Right,
maybe normal.
right. No, that's beautiful. I was referring to your Lightroom presets earlier, and also about editing your images and everything. So you've described editing not only as photo manipulation, but also as interpretation, right? So the question in my mind is, like, how do you personally decide where the line is between enhancing a photograph, and transforming it into something personal?
That's a good question, and I know a lot of people are not doesn't agree with me, but since I don't add visual object that's or not in the original photo, I think it's okay. I don't. I use AI a lot today. I use AI to denoise, to sometimes remove little things that I don't want, but I don't use it to add something. And I think it's the line is here for me. But personally, it's just a question of what is art. And if it's still artistic, I think you don't really have a line to cross. It's all on your mind. But the thing that is important to me is to be honest with the people when I share something. That's why I show always the raw photo, so people can see what's the original and what I did in it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand that part of like many people will not agree with you of like you are using a AI, because I somehow got a similar experience. Like when I was in my 2010, if I right, I hold the camera in my hand first. I held my camera first in my hand. So that time, it is a similar thing was happening. Like the auto focus was a new thing in that time. Before it was all about manual focus, and people were like, okay. You are using a autofocus. You are not a real photographer. Real
Yeah.
photographer use a manual focus.
Yeah, it's always like when we have new stuff, and I think it
Yeah.
was exactly the same with the internet.
Yeah.
We have to adapt ourselves to new technology and play with it, and because even if we don't want them, they'll keep going. So let's
Yeah.
use it.
It takes time for acceptance. Like not everyone's are open-minded. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy
and
to.
one has to be open-minded, like you said, Suraj, right? I mean, I've seen people like shy away from like what you said, Pierre. Like, oh, how can you enhance your image? You have to capture. I've had some conversations like that, even when I used to teach, right? Because I used to teach in the visual media as well. And I'm like, no, it's a tool, right? It's a tool to, don't think about it like it's taking your artistic. In fact, it's adding to it. It's like enhancing your thing. And it's totally okay to say like, hey, here's the raw and this is what I did with it. In fact, it just goes to show that what to do to make it, take it to that level. I think it's totally, it's important in today's world, and especially with some of the AI stuff. There's so many discussions. I mean, like I told you, I work for a company which does a lot of AI. I do AI, stuff day to day in my work, and I feel it's just an important thing that people should adapt to in whatever medium you are.
Yeah, I agree with it. It's a big tool, so it's really useful. So I don't know why shouldn't we use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. One interesting thing I found when I was watching all your photographs, like your images sometimes feel more of a calm and poetic, and other times some of them feel darker or more introspective. It's like two different
Mm.
roles on opposite ends. So what role does your own emotional state play when you are editing your work or your images?
Yeah, that's a good question. Most of the time, I don't even think about what I want to do. It's just about testing a preset, another one, then testing something else, and then you just go to another photo. And sometimes you came back a week later and you find something. You don't know why, but that's why I never delete a single photo. For my
Mm.
2 past years, I still got everything because I love to
Wow.
watch what I did past in the year. And sometimes you find something really good that you didn't even notice when you took the photo. So yeah, when I edit a photo, I think it's about just letting the flow and letting the work doing. And
Understood.
sometimes, yeah, it happened that you have a photo that you already know when you took the photo. Yes, I know I want to make the photo looks like that, but that's really not most of the time. It's rare.
Wow, that's amazing. You have all your pictures, you keep them, and your hard drive must be full
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah. It's so annoying. I started with buying external SSD, but then I realized I need more and more, so I came back to all the IHDD. Yeah, but yeah.
That's amazing.
To build a NAS at home.
Yeah, I think about it because it's too much. Every time I go outside, I come back with some 100 and a half gigabytes of photos. So it took so much space.
Wow. Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's all high res, and
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, absolutely raw pictures and
yeah,
everything. Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Continuing
Industrial.
on continuing up here on the editing aspect of what Suraj was asking you. So for a lot of photographers I've seen, the editing part begins as a technical skill. So at what point do you think it becomes an artistic language or a signature like your style? At what point do you think people make that, or maybe you have, instead of just thinking of it like, oh, it's a technical skill? But at what point you decide that this is my workflow, this is my artistic language, this is my signature?
I think it's exactly the same as a painter or a drawer. You have to learn the techniques so you can
Hmm.
express what you want to say in your photo because you don't think anymore about how to do what you want to do. It's
Mm.
like okay, I like this photo, but I would love to make this part a little more brighter. So I just saturation. So you don't think about how to do it; you just do it, and it's like drawing um, without asking yourself, how can I draw what I want to draw? I
Mm.
don't know if I'm clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. I mean, I was also kind of wondering, like, did you like, because I've seen a lot of people, they will have a certain style that they develop, that over the years, whether it's photo, whether it's something else, right? Any kind of medium. And that becomes their, you immediately see that, and oh, I understand this person artistic language or style. So it's like, maybe I can even ask you, at what point did you kind of, when you first got into photography, was that instant for you, or did that take a while to
Oh,
kind of develop?
yeah, it took me more than 1 year at full time to find a way. And I think the moment you realize you have your own style is when you can say what it is.
Mm.
So I know
Mm.
for myself, it's a lot cinematic dark um,
Mm.
system. I don't know how I can say that, but yeah, my style is a lot about cinematic. It's about um, desaturate tones
Got it.
to play more with the light.
Got it. Got it.
And yeah, the hardest part is to analyze what I was doing and be able to told this to say this. Like my
Hmm.
style is this style.
Got it. Got
Understood.
it.
Understood. Now, talking about the starting on this journey of photography, like every artist, we call, there is a one term we call it a GAS, gear acquisition syndrome. So, so did you ever went from this phase also like okay, like I want to buy expensive camera, I want to go for a 2.8 and a less f-stop lenses, and so and
Yeah,
yeah.
I had the luck to have some money on the
Mhm,
side when I
mhm,
decided to start a photography, because I can't
mhm,
start something if I don't do it 100%. Like
mhm,
I could have start photography and keep a little bullshit job on the side, but
mhm,
I did it sometimes when it was needed, but I can't put myself in it. So I
mhm,
just say, okay, I have this amount of money, I can try for this amount of time, and let's see where it goes. And hopefully it's working almost good. It's
mhm,
keep hard, but I can survive. So it's enough for me to continue what I'm doing. So I just like, okay, I can invest in this. I know it's risky, but if I don't take risk, I won't go anymore anyway. So just do it.
That's really interesting approach. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I
really
don't
nice.
recommend it to anybody, but that's how I work.
Oh no, really, that's nice. Like, no, talking about the one thing which you just mentioned a while ago, the AI and the future of photography. Like, I remember in my when I started in 2010, that time the Photoshop was like a camera raw, and the Photoshop was like magic tools for photographers. And now we are in a AI where like you can tell and it will change the whole image to something different. So with this increasing present of AI in a visual creation, from your perspective, how a photographer should think about AI today? And
I think
yeah,
it depends of anybody. It's a personal question, I think.
okay.
Um, for myself, I use AI just um, to gain time, to be faster.
Hmm.
When people sometimes in my posts comment like you cheated, it's AI to do this, I'm like,
Hmm.
yes, but I could have done the same without using AI. It just have took me so much more time. So for me, I'm okay with that. But I also follow people who are doing full AI art, and I
Hmm.
think it's really cool because it's still artistic. They're creating something with just a different technology. So I think it just it depends on anybody who wants to use or not.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
And
So
if you met a new person who is just getting into photography with this increasing AI exposure, and nowadays this phone also are capable to click a picture. So what will you give them advice which you learned in your all of this long year journey in a photography?
Um, I think that's hard to say because if it's someone who wants to go full AI, let's go. But I can't give any advice on it. But so I can give advice only on people who are trying to do something as similar as I do, like keep taking photos and try to edit photos the
Hmm.
way I do it. I think.
yeah,
Interesting, interesting.
that's pretty cool. And so in your, if I understood, Pierre, what you were trying to say, you think of AI in your workflow, you think of it as well, if I may say, like a tool and also a collaborator, right? Or
Yeah,
just a
sure.
tool.
No,
Okay.
that's just a tool for editing photos, but that's a full collaborator when it's about writing scripts and description and a lot of things.
Of course.
I'm
Oh
a
yeah,
full
yeah, yeah.
user of ChatGPT. It's almost my best friend now for the work. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
it's
we
so cool to use.
completely forgot about the descriptions and all that aspect of it. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's also talking more about this AI stuff in not only photography and other forms of visual entertainment or visual media. There's a lot of philosophical conversation happening about authenticity in photography, right? And like I told you, I work for a company where I hear this a lot. So, do you think AI changes how we define what a photograph really is?
I think the thing changed by itself. like I think we cannot say to someone who's taking good photo on the phone he's not a photographer, because
Hmm.
he's doing something great. He's pressing a shutter, even if it's not mechanical. I mean, on the phone it's a fake shutter, but I
Hmm.
think it's still a photography at the moment where he tried to do something with the thing.
Right, right. And you know what? It's interesting you say that and you bring that up as a photographer yourself, because, and I'm glad you think that way. I've seen recently, people doing some amazing stuff with just simply your iPhone or whatever
Yeah,
whatever phone they use. Not only photo, but even video. And
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen some of those reels on Instagram where there's two people and one person is just simply taking a photo and doing this and doing this and doing this, and and they're showing how they captured this, and then they show the final thing, and it is so amazing. Like they'll put the camera, sorry, the phone really down, and they'll have a leaf over there. I guess I've been looking at some of those, and I'm like, wow, if you didn't tell me, then I would be like, wow, this was shot this way. It's so amazing, like
yeah,
what people
yeah.
can do.
Phone nowadays are just amazing. They won't never replace a camera, but you can do so much thing. Now they're making full movies with phone. Um, they
Yeah,
did
yeah.
I don't remember the name, but they did a full movie maybe 2 years ago with iPhone. A lot of iPhone with a lot of
A
equipment on
lot
it.
of, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of content like that, which is just simply shot with an iPhone. In fact, people have people also have a lot of courses how to
yeah,
shoot with an iPhone,
yeah, yeah.
and showing you all that. It's amazing. It's
Yeah,
really
I
cool.
think it's really cool because it's just about people doing creating stuff. So that's just amazing.
And to me, that I've been, like I said, I've been doing art for a very long time. So has Suraj. Um, I'm in this artist industry as well. So to me, that is still art. It's still a different. It's technique. It's art. It's a combination of a lot of things to me.
Yeah, and I think it's the same with the music. When electronic music comes
Hmm.
years ago, and you had some people who was like, "No, it's not music anymore because you don't have instruments, but it's still music."
Correct.
So I think
Correct.
it's every time in any
Yeah.
kind of art when you're having your
Yeah. You
thing.
have to. Yeah. Good.
Understood, understood.
Yeah.
No,
It's so important that what you said about music too, since we both are musicians too. I mean, it's so important. Like when all these virtual instruments and everything came, like people first thought, oh, it's cheating. No, I mean, it's just you have to adapt to it. I mean, you don't want to
Yeah,
use it,
it's
don't
a
use it. I
different
mean, you
way.
still have, yeah, you still have an option not to use it, right? It's not like the live musicians are gone. You still have an option not to use it. But if someone can't
Yeah.
afford everything, then yeah, yeah.
That's a really good point, because sometimes when people are like angry in my comments, I'm like, "Hey, calm down, bro. I'm not forcing you to do the way I'm doing it. So just do the way you want, but let other people do the way they want."
Exactly. There's always a choice in everything in life,
Yeah.
right? Not only not only visual media and then yeah.
exactly, exactly. Pierre, once again, coming back to your bird photography, your specialization, like you must have clicked more hundreds of birds in your photographic career. So, any remarkable or the rarest bird you have photographed, and would you like to tell the story about it, like how you found
Uh,
him?
I don't have rare birds here, but the one I love the most, the kingfisher. A lot of friends of mine are asking me, "Why did you travel to have this bird?" And I just say, "You just take your car, you run 10 minutes, and you can see him." So, and people are like, "No, no way, we can have a beautiful bird where we live." But yeah, you have so much. You just need to pay attention to it. You just need to okay, take a moment, take a big breath, and just chill out and watch what's around you, and you find so many birds, some so beautiful spaces. But we don't have something that you can find only here. We have
Understood,
just,
understood.
yeah, we have common birds, but they are all beautiful, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah, they all have their own compartments, their all way of singing, of moving. That's so cool.
Understood. And so, while clicking all these birds, like how your way of looking at the nature and the life have changed over the years? Like,
I think on the bad way because no, I can't just go outside and have a walk. Like so many times, my girlfriend want to take me on just walking outside, and I'm like, okay, but can I take my stuff? And she's like, no, 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 we're just outside and taking a moment for us. But when I'm outside, I'm watching something and like, oh, this could be a really good photos, and oh, look at this bird, I could have done something amazing with it. So
Mhm.
that's
Right.
the bad part about it. But it's the good thing is my eye now can watch closely to things. Like most of people just walking and don't see everything. Obviously, I don't because you have so many things, but I can see really little things that maybe doesn't matter for most of the people, but it's just maybe a little moment, a little river or something new. So I'm more able to take time to see things.
Understood. Like, no, photography has traditionally been seen as a record of reality. When editing tools like this, which we are talking about, the AI and all the stuff, has becoming more powerful, do you think audiences will start valuing emotion in an image more than a strict accuracy?
Yeah, I think because for me, photography has never been about reality. It's like because you're not living the moment. I think um, video is more about reality if you want to, but
Mm-hmm.
photography a frozen frame. So it's all
Hmm.
about what you want the frame to tell. So a scene, depending on the way you took the photo, can tell a total different story. So I
Understood.
think we don't have to try to make something real. We just, for me, I just try to to show how I see it. It's all
Got
about
it.
my vision, I think.
You know, but it's also like what you just said reminded me of the saying, right? And what is that? Image can speak 1,000 words, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that's right.
one, with one image, you can say, one of the things that, excuse me, when I used to teach, one of the colleges I used to teach over here in San Diego, I was actually I started teaching later, but I first was a director of programs, and I was managing 5 programs, and one of them was photography. I also had a music program and animation and whatnot, and games and all that. But photography was a program, and I had a lot of students in photography, a lot of faculty, that used to work for me, and of course, some of them used to specialize in nature photography, landscape, whatnot, right? And one of the things that just for me, I don't know, just kind of wanted to say this since I'm talking to a professional photographer, really intrigued me every time, and really, talking about an image can speak 1,000 words was photojournalism. Um, because oh my God, the way some of those pictures were taken by even our students and some of the faculty members, and they used to take these students on trips, and they used to go to like places. Like I remember once they went to this, they crossed the border from the U.S. and they went to Mexico in a prison or something like that. And oh my God, some of the pictures they took of some of these people, just just the way the pictures were taken, and just looking at those individuals' faces, it was a complete story over there in just one image. It was just amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I really love photojournalism. There was a really good movie about it. I don't remember the name. It's something of war or war or something, I think, that showed the violence and the beauty of it, like taking a photo of something that can be really dramatic. But
Oh
it's so
yeah,
interesting because it's about showing the world something in a total different way because it's still artistic, I think.
right. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. I wanted to talk about the future of photography or photographers. So with technology, eventually it makes it possible to generate almost any image today, right? Instantly. So what do you think, will separate a true photographer from someone simply creating pictures?
I think it's just about living a moment. If you can't tell a story behind your photo,
Mm,
I think it's different. So you can be a visual artist, and it's really cool, and you can probably tell a story about what you created, but you can't tell the story behind the moment, behind the place
mm.
you went, and things like that. I think that's just the big difference.
I
That's
agree
true.
with that. So there's that storytelling aspect of that and the moment and how it was captured. What were you trying to say through that? And so. See, this is why I love that whole photojournalism aspect of it, is because it's just, to me personally, and it's not like I don't, I still love all art forms, all different specialties when it comes to photography too. I mean, I love looking at wildlife, nature, all sorts of things. But when it comes to photojournalism, for some reason, it speaks to me immediately, because my mind starts going like, "Oh, what is the story of this person or that situation?" And I kind of start thinking that way. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the best way to look at the photo. I think thinking about what happened.
Hmm.
I don't know if I can share you a photo.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, you can, you can.
Please. Yeah, there
It's
should be a
an
share button over there. Yeah.
okay. Let me find it, because that's for me one of my best photo. It's not
Yeah,
a
sure.
wildlife at all, but you're gonna ask yourself what the hell happened.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Wow.
Wow. Can we zoom into it a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I think I can put it on full screen.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. Oh, so
Nice.
what this place was like, was it a swimming pool or something? Please tell
It's
us
the
more
both.
about it.
It's actually my underground garage
I was
to
gonna
park
ask,
my
Oh,
car. Yeah,
is it
and
flooded or?
yeah. We had a really big problem for the past 3 months. We had so many rain and something break onto our garage, and so now we have so much water on it. So when I saw this, I had some crazy neighbor who was like, "Okay, let's find some balloon and put on the water." So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take my camera and take some photo," and I did this one.
That's
oh,
amazing. So you made a moment out of it. That is so
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah. And now you have a story to tell. You already told us, like, it
yeah,
was, something leaked or, something happened and there was the rains and all the water. And then
yeah, and that's
it's
what I like
amazing.
in this photo. It's like, what the fuck happened? Like, there is no. You want to try to understand, but it's really hard if you don't have the story.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
the fun part, the fun fact.
Yes.
Too good.
Art is about storytelling,
Yeah,
and like that image is like it tells us so many stories. Like if
Yeah.
you see it in a more of a philosophical perspective, it shows that going into light, floating into good things. As can, of course, ChatGPT can create a better things than what I said description wise. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Amazing.
Really.
This is so good. Pierre, thank you so much for, sharing your perspective with us. It's fascinating to hear how photography can move beyond documentation and become a way of expressing emotion, identity, and the inner world of the artist. Thank you so much.
yeah, it was all my pleasure. Thank you inviting me. And sorry if my English is not that good.
No, no,
I
no.
try to
It's
work
all
on
good.
it. For French
Oh,
Very
people
good.
talking English, it's a really hard work. So
oh, don't worry. I get a scold from Sandeep after every podcast. Like my English also not that great, so we are on the same
No, no,
boat.
no. Don't make this public. I don't scold you. I just tell you, like, you could have said it this way.
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
No,
it's for
yeah, but,
improving. Yeah, yeah.
but don't worry. The language doesn't matter, the emotions matter,
yeah,
and
that's
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Well
Absolutely.
said. Yeah.
exactly. So thank you so much, Pierre, once again, and to everyone listening. Thank you for being here with us. If this conversation resonated with you, please go check out Pierre's website. Go check out his different presets. Of if you're a photographer, you can go check out his presets, you can buy them. Go on his Instagram, please do follow him. Look out his beautiful pictures of the birds. Do send him a DM. You can talk with him to learn about his more process. Like the first thing Pierre said in this podcast is like sharing knowledge multiplies. So it shows his big heart, how big his heart is. So please do not hesitate to go and DM him. I'm sure he will love it. And don't forget to share this episode with someone who you think will love the art and the photographer's domain. And we will see you in the next episode of the Artist Conversation. Thank you,
Yep.
Pierre.
Thanks, Pierre. Thanks, everyone.